everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a new episode of Cooking with Nicole, and this unfortunately did not make the cut for Food Network, but we're putting it here today where it deserves to be. Basically, I'm going to be going over some healthy snack alternatives today because I have had my fair share of food, and honestly, I've just had a very confusing food journey, still on it, and the road is very bumpy, but I want to help you guys and show you some snacks that I like to eat, and I don't have all of them here right now, but first, what I want to start out with are these kind of basic ones right here. So the first snacks we're going to go over today are bananas, grapes, we have some rice cakes here, and then behind here we have the last package of freaking avocado. So we're going to be going over these snacks right now, and what I wanted to talk about first is portion control and making sure you're eating in moderation. Snacks, although they can be delicious, can be tempting to eat a lot of. So especially stuff like grapes and bananas, although fruit is very good for you, eating a lot can actually not be that good for you because you're just eating too much of what your body really needs. So you need to make sure that you're portioning everything out. When you have grapes, if you just want to put them in a measuring cup before you put them in a bowl, get smaller bowls, something like that, to just really maintain your snacking cravings and what you're eating. But I know this looks really generic to you, like, yo, I know that I'm supposed to be eating bananas and fruit and vegetables as snacks, but I'm going to show you some fancy ways that I like to kind of spice these up. So although I have my grapes here, I'm going to put these away, and actually these are called cotton candy grapes, and they taste like cotton candy. So I don't really know what that even means, if that is like a natural thing, but if you're for something sweet and cotton candy like, maybe these grapes are for you. But today I'm only going to be using bananas, avocado, multigrain, rice crackers, and I have a knife here. So these rice cakes are called Susie's Thin Puff Cakes, and I'm gonna just rip into this with a knife. But that's not what this knife is actually for. But yeah. Okay, so basically these rice cakes are really great, and I discovered them a little while ago, but I love them because you could put anything on them. They're not calorie dense, they're low in carbs, and 3 of them actually is a serving size. So if you're someone who visually eats, so like if you look at a lot of food and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get full, like if you look at food and you need it to be a lot to actually feel full, like I kind of get that way sometimes, this is probably a great snacking or just dinner alternative, because if you see this, there's 3 of them, and you're like, wow, that's a lot of food, and your brain thinks it's a lot of food, so you get full, right? So that's like an easy way, not calorie dense way to kind of fill yourself up. So we have 3 of these here, and I'm only gonna grab 1 banana. And I know I said this before, but we have to do stuff in moderation, right? So I'm getting a cutting board, and basically you want to not really use the whole banana. You could save the rest for later. Ew. You could save the rest for later, but you don't want to eat the whole banana. So I'm just gonna cut my banana in half, and then I'm gonna cut off the little pointed top, and then just create little slices. But you just want to place the bananas on your little rice cracker, and you can do this any way you want. These are a little bit thick, honestly, and that is a good snack to eat. And you could put the whole banana on all 3 of these, but honestly, that's a little, I think that's a bit carb heavy, but yo, if that's your snack or if that's your carb for your lunch or something, go ahead and do it. But just make sure that you're really controlling how much you're putting on. Maybe cut the banana in half and then divvy it up between the 3 rice cakes. We are going to take this avocado, and this is from Costco. You could get these in bulk. these are amazing. They're 90 calories, 8 grams of fat for one of these. It's already salt and peppered for you, so that's really nice of them, really nice. And you're just gonna take a little bit and spread it onto your rice cake. And my mom actually did this for me one time, but with Ezekiel bread, and it was like, I don't know, I'm not much of like a basic avocado person, you know, the whole avocado toast thing, because I bet you guys have never seen this before, right? But I don't know what hit me when I ate that, but all of a sudden I became like an avocado fiend. Like, I love avocado on toast and stuff, but I found that it was just getting too like carb heavy for me to eat so much of that bread every day, because I loved avocado. So an easy way for me to kind of enhance my avocado craving was to put it on these rice cakes, because I could eat more avocado without feeling so guilty about eating a lot of bread. And not that you shouldn't be eating bread, but it was just an overload, and I needed to kind of find another way. And yeah, they're really delicious to eat, and they're great, man. All right, so the next recipe, or like this is like the next round, I guess, of snacks. So if you're a more hands-on cooking person, or you like to meal prep for the week, especially if you want to prep your snacks, this might be something more your style, because today we're going to be cooking both cauliflower and sweet potato. And I know these seem pretty generic, but I do have a really nice way to cook these, and it makes them very delectable and fun to eat. I know it can be hard to transition into eating healthy snacks, because we want our snacks to be sweet and savory, and we want them to hit the spot, right? But I believe that if you find a food that you really love, that's healthy, and you find a way to cook it a way that you really love, it will be more enjoyable, and you'll be able to transition more easily into eating healthier snacks, or just eating healthy in general. So the ingredients you're gonna need for the first recipe I'm gonna do is the cauliflower recipe. So you're going to need some fresh washed cauliflower. If you want organic or whatever, you can do your thing. You want a pan with tin foil on it. You want olive oil, and then for seasonings we have paprika, salt, and pepper. You need a measuring cup or something to kind of control the way the oil pours out. And then we want a cutting board and of course a knife. So I've already washed my cauliflower, but it's really important to wash your food. And of course, why am I telling you that? But anyways, so what I like to do is I like to cut off like the end of the cauliflower first, just to get that out of the way. And then the cauliflower kind of has, like, if you turn it upside down, you could see the little like florets coming out of the bottom of it, of that like big root. So you want to kind of cut little florets, like little pieces of cauliflower that come out like this. So start at the root and just kind of cut from the root of the cauliflower, and kind of these florets will fall out. Okay, so now I have these florets, and I want to cut them a little bit smaller because they're pretty big right now. So I'm just going to kind of cut them in half. And cutting from the floret is a really good idea because you get the more put together pieces instead of like cauliflower rice. And it's just much more manageable to eat. And you can cut them to any size you want. If you want them really small, more snack size, you can. Or if you're more like, I just like cut myself. Okay, so now I have all of my cauliflower here, and I'm going to put them onto this pan right now. Shake them off. And yeah, they fit nicely on here, so you just have to spread them around. If anything looks a little too big, just cut it. So now that we have our cauliflower on our sheet, what we want to do now is season it. So we have our pepper first, and just try and get that as much as you can on the plate. Then we have our salt. The salt always seems to come out faster than pepper. And then I also like to put paprika on it. It just gives it a bit more flavored. Not really spice, I would say, but I guess just like a bit of like something different from salt and pepper, you know? And then I mix it around with my hands. I don't put a lot of paprika on. I've had some horror stories with paprika where there's too much on food and it's just not good. But yeah, and now I pour a little bit of oil into this measuring cup. It is less than 1/4 cup. That's a lot of oil, but I'm just saying it's pretty thin on the bottom. And then I control it by drizzling it over all the cauliflower. Also, olive oil is a great fat, but again, if you put too much fat and too much of stuff into something, it kind of messes it up a little bit. So you just want to make sure everything you're doing is controlled. You don't need to go crazy and measure it on a measuring like on a scale or anything, but just keeping your eye on it and knowing what's enough or what's too much is perfect. So this is going to go into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. And then we're going to do another round with a different recipe. All right, so this recipe is probably going to be my favorite one, or it is my favorite one. And all of the materials that we need are relatively the same, except we do not need paprika and we do not need our cauliflower, because we're going to be replacing it for this sweet potato. And sweet potatoes are really the jam. They're great. I love them. I used to hate them when I was a kid, but I love them now. And I love them the way that we cook them. And sweet potatoes, although are seen as healthy, which they are, healthier option than a regular potato, but they still are carb heavy. So don't go too crazy snacking on these. These are definitely something you need to portion out properly. Basically, let's get into this recipe. So the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to peel this potato, but we want to take a knife and we want to cut the end of it off because we do not want to be peeling our potato on a non-flat surface. So we have a perfect round potato here. I'm taking this knife here. So I don't really know, this is like a paring knife, I think. So I think you can peel with it. I'm not like Gordon Ramsay or anything, so I don't really know the tools, but I just do my do. And I don't know if I told you guys this, but these are going to be almost like potato chips, but in sweet potato form. So while I'm peeling this, I do want to talk about like kind of diet misconceptions or why diets are probably not the best way to lose weight or get yourself in that zone. So the thing with diets is that they're all about restricting what you can't eat. And I don't know if you guys know who Dr. Mona Vond is, but she has great videos about eating healthy and healthy recipes, but she also kind of talks about binge eating. And I feel like when we diet, we tend to set ourselves up for the binge eating aspect of life, and we tend to deprive ourselves so much of things that we love that we start binge eating them on the weekends when we can, or like when we think it's our cheat day and whatever. And what I learned to do is to just not restrict myself, get off a diet, honestly, not restrict myself so much that I feel so deprived, and to portion everything. And that's why I've been kind of pushing the whole portioning thing, because as long as you eat in moderation, you can have what you want. I mean, you can't have a cookie every single day, but a cookie 20% of the time, or you're at a party and you're eating healthy, but your friend made you cookies or something. You can't, like, I think that it would be rude to not accept, but it's not bad to just have one of those cookies. It's not a bad thing. You're not gonna explode. You know what I mean? So I think coming to terms with the fact that you are living your life and you're a human and you are going to eat sweets sometimes, or sometimes you're going to eat a little bit of steak and not chicken every night, you know? Coming to terms with that and just learning how to portion your food properly is the best way to become a healthier and happier person, because I was not happy when I was pushing myself to do certain diets, but I became happier when I realized that if I portioned my steak correctly, I could have steak, or if I portioned my entire meals properly, I could eat that one cookie at night and then be okay. You know, if I lived a healthier lifestyle, not just through food, but mentally, it becomes easier to become a healthier person. You know what I mean? All right, so I peeled this, and now I'm gonna lay it on its side, and we're gonna cut it on its side. We're not gonna cut it in half, and we're gonna make little circles out of it, and these are going to be like chips for us. Okay, so now we have our chips here, and I'm just going to lay them out on my pan here. And now I'm going to take salt and pepper, and I'm going to salt and pepper this. You can put paprika on it if you would like, or any type of spice that you would like. The potatoes will soak that up nicely. But I like to keep it simple with the sweet potatoes. But if you have your own little rub or sauce that you like to dribble on this, you can do that. And then I take the olive oil again, and I do the same thing where I pour a little amount to skim the bottom of this cup here. And since these are like of a larger surface area, you might need to use just a little bit more, but I think you should be good. If you also need to move them around a bit to kind of soak up some of the olive oil if it missed a little bit of the potatoes, you can do that too, and that's what I do sometimes. Because sometimes you put enough on and it just doesn't reach, and you just need to mix it around. So now your hands are all oily and gooey, and that's great, right? So I'm going to put this in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. You can definitely do more than one potato. I just did one potato for the sake of time, but yeah, feel free to do like 2-3 potatoes or a couple pans of these. I do that when I prep for the week. All right, so here I have the finished cauliflower, and then I have the sweet potatoes. I did pre-make a batch, so there's still another batch in there. This isn't the one that we did together, but this is what the final product looks like. You could definitely take a little bit of this in a bowl, pack it up for work if you snack at work and don't eat lunch, whatever you guys do. But I love how crispy these sweet potatoes came out. Like this one is just so crispy, it breaks like in my hand. It's so good. I already know it's good. That's why I'm nodding before I eat it, you know. But yeah, just so crispy and good. And it tastes like, not like a Lay's chip, like come on, but it tastes like a little chip. And it just satisfies that little crunchy craving that you might have. And with the cauliflower, it just spices up vegetables for you. I know vegetables can be a bit bland and boring, and so adding a little bit of spice to it and cooking it and putting your own flair on it is a great way to just enjoy it more. Okay, so that's really it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Nicole, and I hope you guys kind of got a little bit of knowledge or just some recipes out of this, something you can try at home. If you have any questions or if you want me to make any more videos like this, I totally can, and I'm planning on it. But yeah, comment down below what you want to see, what recipes you like, and maybe stuff that you also enjoy making at home yourself. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video helps you to feel a bit more comfortable in your own skin. Bye!